So sometimes it just feels like you're in the waiting room constantly at the doctor's office, but your life is the doctor's office and your breakthrough is not coming through. I want to tell you that your time is coming.
In this week's episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Gonna be, say that you're gonna be.
I don't know where I'm gonna put you. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope everyone is good. I'm having a cup of coffee. Today's video is about a blessing. Delayed is never a blessing denied, honey. So I'm gonna start with my skincare. I currently have these pimple patches and I'm gonna take them off and then put a little bit of, I think I'm gonna put some road. Well, guys, have you ever felt like life is leaving you behind? Like everybody else's life is coming together and yours is just dwindling along. Like everyone is achieving their goals and you're not achieving your goals. It just feels like nothing is going right for you. Well, I know that feeling way too well. I know it too well. I'm using L'Occitane. L'Occitane? Yeah, I've been there. It's just a hydrating moisturizer. I know exactly how it feels like to have your life sort of not want to come together. But you know what? That doesn't mean your blessing is not coming. Like for me, it took me so long for my blessing to come, and I want to come on here to be a testimony. The reality of it all is that life goes according to your time. If it's not yet your time, you are not going to get things the way you want them to. All right, so sometimes it just feels like you're in the waiting room constantly at the doctor's office, but your life is the doctor's office and your breakthrough is not coming through. I want to tell you that your time is coming and the universe and God of your understanding is working in your favor. Sometimes the things we pray for and the things we work so hard for take longer to come to us. And when we look back at everything that's happened, we're like, damn, that was, my nail just broke off. That was like the universe preparing me for great things to come and teaching me patience, because in the positions maybe that you're applying in, I'm using bio oil. Yeah. So in the positions that you're applying to be in, you're going to have your patience tested and you're going to need to use those skills to your advantage. So for me, that was the thing about my journey. I feel like my Achilles heel, my point of development or my weakness is the fact that I'm impatient. As much as I think I'm patient, and control, when I want something, I want it now and I want it to happen my way. I have to seriously work through that because it's one of my weaknesses in this life. It is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to use, this is the Vaseline Healthy Bright. So for me, I didn't take the straight path as you see today. I'm like a teacher and stuff like that. I actually was studying property evaluation before. When I got out of high school, I initially wanted to get into graphic design. That was like my dream, to get into graphic space, the creative space. I feel like my parents were hippies and they respected the creative side of things, of life. But you know, growing up in the 90s, parents never really thought like jobs like those would make an income and we'd be able to make a life out of it, unlike maybe the kids nowadays and maybe how supportive their parents are, you know. um so I first started in property, studying property, and after the second year, once I got in, things didn't go as planned in terms of the industry. They started privatizing the companies. And you know, it was a male run industry, so it was very tricky for um, women to get in and find jobs and settle, you know. So I decided I'm going to move on into another field and something within media. So then I went into journalism. I'm putting some mascara on because I feel like I've got a strip lash on that I got from Shein, and I feel like the ends have that white thing, that jelly thing. So anyway, then I went and studied journalism, which turned out to be like one of the worst decisions in my life. In a way, I don't know what I benefited from it besides my friendships, my lifelong friendship especially with Shivana, we created such an amazing bond and a sisterhood, and we've remained friends. And with Anati, like, although people go their separate ways in life because of their journeys, I feel like with those hands, I was able to meet lifelong friends. Even at UNISA, I met Marilyn through studying at UNISA, I think. I'm not sure anymore. So I'm going to underpaint, but using the compact. Yeah, so I think the whole purpose of me going through that was for me to find friends for life. Sammy, Samke, I met a lot of people, that I feel like made an impact in the woman that I am today and still do support me and my crazy ideas and all that jazz. That's what the whole experience was. More than that, nothing really. And that's not to shade them or anything like that. But it's my story and I'm sticking to it. So apparently you can do this, which helps when you have dark spots. I feel like my acne is getting better. Obviously, there's a bit of a flare up now. I'm nearly going into my period. I say this to say that sometimes your energy and your time is not wasted just because your desired outcome doesn't occur at that time or in the way that you wanted to. You understand? So for me, after that, then I went into teaching. I tried to apply to UKZN, but I applied late because I was too busy having fun there by the DUT. I feel like DUT for me was a time where I was able to sort of develop my social skills in a way. Let me see what will happen if I put this and just made friends because my sisters weren't around a lot during like my late teenage years where I needed like guidance. So in a way I kind of had to raise myself in a way. Then I went and studied teaching through UNISA, which was tumultuous, if I can say so myself. Tumultuous. Because it was tumultuous because I'm going to use Fenty. I dealt with a lot of psychological stuff, if I can say. I was just going through my healing and a lot of healing. So I'm going to use my damp sponge. I was going through a lot of healing, a lot of unlearning. So I fell ill for a while, which disrupted my schooling and delayed, a lot of things. But also during that time, my father fell ill towards my finals. I think it was my third year. He fell ill. I mean, we lost him. We gained an angel, but we lost him in the physical realm. And yeah, that was hard to write exams. And then later in the afternoon, you have to go to the hospital and still pass. He knew how much I hated mathematics. After my paper, like I went to the hospital, I was like, Dad, I wrote my maths paper. I know you'd be proud of me. Woo! Getting emotional, girl. I use a blender and the stippling brush. Let me use this stippling brush. But when the brush is still new, it doesn't do the things. But let me try. I think this is a stippling brush. Makeup Revolution RT200 brush. Don't really know much about brushes and stuff. I have this thing growing on me, but I don't know what it is. But we finished. My sister was also doing her finals for her nursing course, and we both finished and graduated, and it was so amazing. Shortly after that, I applied for China, got the job by the grace of God. It was with a very big company at that time that also has cruise lines and also a whole, what is it, amusement park. Using concealer, free to be. After that, shortly after that, then we had that C word virus spreading all over the world. And I was just praying, God, please help this happen for me. Please, please, please. Tell me why 2 weeks before my departure, hotels had been booked and everything. They had to cancel everything because we all went on lockdown. So we were on lockdown for 2 years, were we not? 2 years, and sitting at home and only eating and making our own gavin there because our lives were at a standstill. And I just wanted to live my life. I just wanna live my life. I wanna live my life. Rest in peace, Winnie Kumalo. Oh my God. I just wanted to live my life, help my mom financially. She was now a single parent. It's nice when your parent can afford life in this Ramaphosa economy. And then to a point where we ended up moving from where we were living. So much happened. We ended up moving to another place. And then when we moved to that place, I started manifesting and just praying, manifesting, and all of those things. Literally, I think it took about a month or so. As I had mentioned in the previous video, after all that madness and we were now, things were slowly opening up, I started some concealing just to create that chisel. Once I started manifesting, things started opening up. Tell me why. My sister was just like, oh yeah, it's opening up here on our side. Well, why don't you come and try your luck this side? So that's how I ended up in Doha working. I just felt like I needed more, you know. I decided I'm gonna try Southeast Asia again because after China fell through, I just felt very apprehensive, you know. I was just like, maybe this is not for me, hey. I felt very apprehensive and doubtful, but I did it anyway. I got the job. I got the job and ended up here. Thailand was the first place where I was able to get my own place, have good money. It's been a lifesaver, a renewal of my faith in the universe and faith in God and faith in my ancestors. You deserve good things. Good things are meant for you. You are not forsaken, because you know when you're going through a hard time, it feels like you're literally forsaken. I am nearly done. I'm going to use some powder just under my eyes to set. I like to first use like my normal skin color powder under my eyes, and then maybe if I feel like lightening, depending on what I want to do. And you know, God, when God shows up, he shows off, let me tell you. Because tell me why I landed, because when I manifested nearly exactly the same vibe. Near a body of water with a great view, da 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 da. I live close to the river. My view is so crazy here, so cute. It's very cosmopolitan and just giving XCX in the city. I say this to say, not because I'm the chosen one, not because this all miraculously happened. I'm using the RT400 just to get some powder. I had to go through so much struggle, so much of the journey. There was no way of avoiding it. It was for my growth. It was for my betterment, for me to be able to get to this point and say, flippin' hell, man. It was a one tough road, eh? You know? For you to be able to appreciate where you are now, you have to, or where you get to, when you get to it, you have to go through the struggle. There's no way of avoiding the journey. Life is going to humble you. Life will humble you, and it's going to teach you who's boss, you know? And it's going to draw you closer to your creator. However you see your creator, whatever religion you come from, and whatever belief you have about who brought you here on this earth and how you got here, whether it's the universe, whatever. But it will humble you. It will break you down to the core for you to get to a point of success, you know? And that's okay. It's gonna be okay. It might take longer, just like it did with me. How many years out of high school? I think 13 years. And I got my breakthrough at the age of 35. Life will throw you curveballs, literally, and it's a hard journey to get over the hump, the hill, to the other side, because you can climb up the hill, get to the top. When you get to the top, you're like, wow, but you still need to get to the bottom, or else life will drag you down, and you have to humble yourself to the cycle and the circle of life. This is a journey, and I have to realize that this is a journey, and therefore I have to respect the journey and what it is. Yeah, I found what I needed. I'm going to use the She Glam translucent powder, and then I found this really cute. I bought this like in the CBD, not in the CBD, but in Bangrak on the streets. Honey, we keep it ghetto up in here. This is so cute. Liquid liner. And you know, there's still, even at this point, I don't feel like I've reached Mount Everest. There's so many other blessings that I still want for my life. I want a family, I want a child, I want financial prosperity, fruitfulness, man. I just want a fruitful life, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting a fruitful life. You deserve it. In the Nguni culture, there's that whole belief of, anyone else who's outside of that can tell me if they share the same sentiments about when a child is born, a child is born with both hands closed, and within those hands, inside your hands, you are carrying your destiny. Nobody is born to be broke. Nobody is born to be broken. So it's about going through the journey, allowing yourself to go through the journey and move along through it, not be stuck. And when you meet people in this life who are going to be your guides, allow that to happen. I'm going to use this little brush, RT300, to just go into the powder and let them help make the journey lighter. Let them pray for you. Let them put in a word for you. Let them assist you. Don't be stubborn, because you never know how God works. You have to humble yourself before the Lord, and you have to humble yourself before the people the universe and God sends through. It's like that whole concept of as a guy, your ancestors, if you believe in African spirituality, your ancestors send your wife your way. And if you don't listen and you're busy running the streets and being a stratmat, your life is not going to be easy, my friend. Your life would be showing you a Nigerian movie. So just listen to the messages that Spirit is sending your way, and trust me. If Spirit is saying pray a little more, if Spirit is saying give alms, if Spirit, all in moderation, because we are living in a real world. At the end of the day, we gotta eat, we got bread, we've got responsibilities. We're not saying to get your way now you have to give the church 50% of your salary and your family be left hungry. Charity begins at home for that reason. You can even volunteer. You can see, because that's energy you're putting out in the world, and the world will reward you for your energy. Your prayers go into the cosmos. Your offerings are welcomed, and everything that you hope for will happen. Trust and believe. Everything you're hoping for will happen. I'm going to use this brush because I feel like it can again work. This is a Girl Essence Crease brush, RT10. I never really do anything to my brows besides like clean them out if they outgrown. Ooh, this is such a nice color. Like, it just melts into my skin. What? At first I thought that nothing was going on. Okay, so then I just put this here. And you know what? Your journey continues. There's still going to be so many things that you need to go to your guides and your universe and your God and inquire about. Just because you've gotten that job, you will get that job. And when you get that job, there will be many other things that require you to go back to your source of power and be like, yo, okay, now at work, I'm, dealing with this challenge of A, B, C, and D. Challenges will arise, and the whole point of being on earth is going back to the source, going back to things that make you happy, not being afraid to speak up for yourself, not being afraid to stand for the truth. Because that's what we are brought here on earth to do, to be advocates of the truth. What is your truth? What is your purpose? What is the example you're setting for people who are watching you? Because people are always watching. So many times I get inboxes in the DMs of people being like, bruh, you helped me so much, I'm now this side, or you helped me so much, just get clarity on stuff about soccer. I've gotten an opportunity now and I needed this help, and nobody was giving this information. What do you need? How much do you need? I said nothing. My time for me to financially gain from the help that I've been giving is not yet here. God will make a plan for me, and when He does, it's going to be so beautiful and fruitful. I will not struggle, need, go hungry. When my blessing for the journey that I've gone through comes, oh, it will be fruitful. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 things on my lips. Actually 3. Where's my lip liner? Where's my lip liner? Because you know what? Let me sharpen this baby first. Lip liners always work well when they're slightly blunt but slightly sharp. So I just would clean it up a bit so it's at this point, So when your turn comes, and oh, it will come, and oh, it will be so beautiful. Trust and believe. It'll be like you're living in a dream. You're going to have this weird outer body experience. First time I realized my dream came true, I wailed, bro. And I was in public transport. I just saw the mountains around me, and I was overwhelmed by the blessing God has bestowed upon me. And I was just like, oh, This is beautiful. And not just what I was seeing around me, just that feeling of gratitude was so beautiful. I just started crying, and I was just so grateful for everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And being able to bring my mom over here this past holidays was even, it solidified that, and I was just emotional. I was like, oh, I wish my dad was around. He would have came too, and this would have been just like a beautiful moment. And then I'm gonna put some concealer. The hard work that they've put in as a unit, and never giving up on their kids, you know, and never giving up on their dreams. Oh, more than anything, never giving up on their dreams, honey, because it's so easy to give up on your dreams. The easiest thing is to give up or not to even try. That is like the easiest thing for most people. Push, guys, push. We're gonna get there, and whoever can help you will help you. God will send people to help you along this journey. You are not alone. You are not alone. So let me just take this off.